Welcome to Quick Book Summaries. Today we are decoding one of the most practical books ever written on human potential, Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you've ever set a New Year's resolution and quit by February, this episode is for you. We are going to break down the entire book, cutting through the fluff to get you the base points you can actually use. We're covering the 1% rule, why goals are overrated, and the 4-step framework to hack your brain into building good habits and breaking bad ones. Let's dive in. Part 1. The fundamentals, why we are stuck. To understand why small habits matter, we have to talk about the British cycling team. For about 100 years, British cycling was mediocre. Actually, mediocre is being nice. Since 1908, they had won just a single gold medal at the Olympics. They were so underwhelming that one top bike manufacturer actually refused to sell them bikes because they were afraid it would hurt their brand image. Then, in 2003, they hired a new performance director named Dave Brailsford, and he had a strategy called the aggregation of marginal gains. He didn't try to make the riders 100% faster overnight. He just looked for 1% improvements everywhere. They redesigned the bike seats to be more comfortable. They rubbed alcohol on the tires for better grip. But then they got weird. They tested different massage gels to see which led to faster muscle recovery. They hired a surgeon to teach riders the best way to wash their hands to avoid catching a cold. They even painted the inside of the team truck white so they could spot tiny bits of dust that might degrade the bikes. People thought they were crazy, but 5 years later, they dominated the Beijing Olympics, winning 60% of the gold medals available. 4 years later in London, they set 9 Olympic records. They went from nobody winning the Tour de France to a British cyclist winning it 5 times in 6 years. That is the power of atomic habits. Here is the math. If you get just 1% better every day for a year, you end up 37 times better by the time you're done. But if you get 1% worse, you drop nearly to zero. So why do we quit? Because progress isn't linear. Clear calls this the Plateau of Latent Potential. Imagine an ice cube in a freezing room. You heat it up from 25 degrees to 26, 27, 28. Nothing happens. It's still ice. You feel like you're wasting your time. But then you hit 32 degrees, and boom, it melts. All that work you did beforehand wasn't wasted. It was just stored. You have to survive that valley of disappointment to see the results. Also, stop obsessing over goals. Winners and losers have the same goals. Every Olympian wants the gold medal. The difference is the system. Goal, the result you want. System, the process that gets you there. As the author says, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Finally, the deepest layer of change is identity. Stop saying, I'm trying to quit smoking. Start saying, I'm not a smoker. True change happens when you decide who you want to be and prove it to yourself with small wins. Part 2. The 4 laws of behavior change. Okay, now for the practical stuff. How do you actually build a habit? Clear breaks every habit down into a feedback loop. Cue, craving, response, reward. From this loop, we get the 4 laws. If you want to build a good habit, you follow these laws. If you want to break a bad one, you invert them. Law number 1, make it obvious. The cue. You can't fix what you don't notice. Most of our habits are invisible. The strategy. Use implementation intentions. Don't just say, I'll exercise. Say, I will exercise for 1 hour at 5 p.m. in the gym. Be specific about time and location. The hack. Use habit stacking. Tie a new habit to an old one. The formula is, after current habit, I will new habit. For example, after I pour my coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. Environment design. If you want to eat more apples, put them in a bowl on the counter, not hidden in the fridge crisper. Make the cues visible. To break a bad habit, make it invisible. If you can't stop checking your phone, leave it in another room. Remove the cue. Law number 2, make it attractive, the craving. Habits are driven by dopamine, and here's the kicker. Dopamine spikes when you anticipate the reward, not just when you get it. The strategy: use temptation bundling. Pair an action you want to do with an action you need to do. Example: only watch your favorite Netflix show while you are riding the stationary bike. You start to crave the workout because it means you get the show. Social norms. Join a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior. If all your friends are fit, fitness becomes attractive to you because we all want to fit in. To break a bad habit, make it unattractive. Reframe your mindset. Highlight the benefits of avoiding the bad habit to make it seem less appealing. Law number 3, make it easy, the response. Human behavior follows the law of least effort. We are lazy. We naturally gravitate toward the option that requires the least amount of work. The strategy: reduce friction. If you want to go to the gym, have your clothes laid out and your bag packed the night before. Reduce the number of steps between you and the good behavior. The hack: the 2-minute rule. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Read a book becomes read 1 page. Run 3 miles becomes tie my running shoes. You have to master the art of showing up before you can optimize the details. To break a bad habit, make it difficult. Increase friction. Unplug the TV after every use. Take the batteries out of the remote. Make yourself work for your vices. Law number 4, make it satisfying, the reward. This is the most important rule for repeating a behavior. What gets rewarded gets repeated. The problem is that bad habits, like eating donuts, have immediate rewards but delayed costs. Good habits, like working out, have immediate costs but delayed rewards. The strategy: give yourself an immediate reward. Use a habit tracker. Crossing an X on a calendar is satisfying. It provides visual proof that you are casting a vote for your new identity. The golden rule: never miss twice. If you miss a workout, that's an accident. If you miss 2, that's the start of a new habit. Get back on track immediately. To break a bad habit, make it unsatisfying. Get an accountability partner. If you know someone is watching, or if there is a painful social cost to your bad habit, you won't do it. Part 3. Advanced tactics and conclusion. So how do you go from good to great? Clear talks about the Goldilocks rule. Humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities. Not too hard, not too easy, just right. And finally, the hard truth about mastery: boredom. Eventually, your habits will stop being exciting. They will become routine. The greatest threat to success isn't failure, it's boredom. The only difference between the elite pros and the amateurs is that the pros stick to the schedule even when life gets in the way, or when they just don't feel like it. You have to fall in love with boredom. So there you have it. Atomic habits in a nutshell. 1. Focus on systems, not goals. 2. Make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. 3. And never miss twice. If you enjoyed this summary, hit that like button and subscribe for more book breakdowns. Also, let me know in the comments what is the next book that you want in quick book summaries.